Okay, so the first question here, it said write down a fraction that is halfway between 1/2 and 2/3. So if I was to draw this on a diagram, here's 1/2, here is 2/3. 1/2 is 0.5, 2/3 is 0.66, and you're looking for something in the middle. Okay, and how you do that always, if you're looking for something in the middle, is you'd find the median. And what you would do is you would add these two together and divide it by 2. So if I add 1/2 plus 2/3, I can only add them together if they've got the same number on the bottom. So for me now, you can do this on your calculator. That gives you 7/6. And then you're going to divide that by 2. So you're dividing it by 2 over 1. So how do you do that essentially? You flip it upside down and you multiply. So it becomes 7/6 multiplied by 1/2, and the answer is 7/12. And so the reason for that is to get something in the middle, you would add the two together and divide by 2. Okay, this next one here is asking you to put them in order from smallest to biggest. It's calculator work from start to finish. Most people did not realise that 11.5% is 0.115. Okay, this next question asked us, Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak on Earth, located in the mountain range in Nepal and Tibet. Its summit is 8,800 metres above sea level. Correct the nearest 100 metres. Complete the inequality. So its summit, which basically means that the highest point on the mountain is 8,800, and that is relative to 100 metres. So what does that mean? It means that the distance from here to here, or the range from here to here, can vary by 100. So essentially it means that the lowest point can be 50 below that, which would be 8,750, and the highest point on that could be the extra 50 above that. So we can write 8,849. That would split it then over 100 units. The second one, on budget day in October 2016, Ireland's national debt had fallen by this much. Express it to 6 significant figures. So 6 significant figures can mean I have 6 digits and then my zeros afterwards, which is where people went wrong. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros after that, and this should be your significant figure part. The last question, at the peak of the recession 2012, Ireland's national debt was 215,539,000. Using the answer to part 1, find the percentage decrease of the national debt. So for part 1, once you've entered in your 6 digits, it should have been 184,933 million. This is not written to significant figures, okay? The one with the zeros would be written to significant figures. And you're asked then for the percentage decrease. Well, always to find the percentage decrease, your formula is the decrease over the original multiplied by 100 over 1. The decrease in this, if you were to check it out, it's 215,539 minus 184,933, that's millions. That would give you 30606,000,000. So that becomes now my decrease. You're going to put that over the original amount. Remember to include your zeros, and you're going to multiply it by 100 over 1. Okay, this next question here, people were not getting their full marks on that. And the reason for this is a couple of things. Number one, you do not know what your prime numbers are. If you don't know what your prime numbers are at this stage, I can't help you. Look it up. A big clue is number 1 is not a prime number. The second thing people did wrong was they did not realise that it said less than 20, which means that you don't include 20. And the third thing that people did wrong here was they didn't include all of the numbers that don't fall into these. So what about all those numbers? They go somewhere else. The next thing you were asked for was the highest common factor between 15 and 18. You would have possibly done this within the first week of your time in Lekela here. And people getting it wrong at this stage is not on. Please look up the HCF in the first year folder that I've placed in your folders online if you do not remember how to find the HCF. This next one here said calculate the cardinal number. So the cardinal number is the number of elements in P, union Q, union R. So the cardinal number of all of this, and this little dot here means except. So tell me how many elements are not in any of that. So you're just including this part here. First one here is use the universal set A and B, and there are two subsets. The universe is equal to 28. So within here, I must have 28. Find with the aid of the diagram the minimum value of the cardinal number of A union B, everything outside of it. So for me, it says I must have 18 in here. And it says I have to have 8 in here. So the minimum number I could have outside, well, if I had the 18 and it was just in the A bracket, and if I had the 8 in here, that both satisfies that, and 18 and 8 is going to give me 26, which means I could have a 2 outside it. So that would be the least amount I could have outside if I meant to have 28 in the whole box, and this circle has to have 18, and this circle has to have 8. If I'm asked for the minimum, again, all of this still follows. I have to have 18 here, and I have to have 8 here. But the minimum number I could have is, what if I had all of the 8 in this part here? Does my B circle have 8 in it? It does. My A circle should have 18, so what should be left in my A circle? 10. That gives me 18 now altogether. There was 28 in the universe, which means I could have possibly 10 outside. So 10 is the maximum value there. Okay, this first one here was normally quite well answered, and basically you're just finding 23% of the packet of crisps. So it's going to be 0.545 multiplied by 0.23. The second question, a supermarket is also offering the following multi-pack deals. So you can get 6 packs of cheese and onion for $1.99, or you can get 14 packs of a flavoured crisp for $3.99. So which is the better value? So in order for me to get 6 of those, it's $1.99. Therefore, 12 of those would be, say, €4 altogether. So immediately I can spot, well, 12 of those is going to be €4, whereas I can get 14 for those. So special offer 2 is better. And the reason for that can be a number of things. It can be just as looking as what I did there. You could also work out what would it be for 1 packet of crisps. So $1.99 divided by 6, this is special offer 1. That would be 33 cents per bag of crisps. Whereas special offer 2 is $3.99 divided by 14, and as a result that would be 28 cents. So any of those answers there are fine. Okay, Paula says the price per gram when purchasing a 6-pack of cheese and onions is almost 50% cheaper than the price per gram when purchasing a single packet. When purchasing a single packet, guys, this is going back to the very first part, 3A, and when we worked out what the single packet was. So we're going to figure out how much is it per gram per single packet, how much is it per gram per special offer packet, and then we're going to find the percentage decrease or the percentage difference. Okay, that's what we need to look at first of all. So I'm going to figure out how much is it per gram for the first packet, which we figured out was 0.67. It was 67 cents per packet, and we're going to divide that by, each packet had 32.5 grams in it. So essentially, that's going to cost me in euros 0.020615. That was the single packet. The special offer, number 1, they're saying that for the 6-pack cheese and onion, you were going to get 50% more. Well, the special offer packet, we've already worked it out in the previous answer, and it was 0.33 per packet. It only has 25 grams in it, okay? So you're dividing this one by 25 grams, and that will tell you that the amount of euros per gram in this case would be 0.013266. Okay, we can stop after those amount of numbers. To find the percentage difference, you're going to subtract those, put it over the original amount, which in this case we're saying is the single packet, and multiply it by 100 over 1. So it will be 0.020615 minus 0.013266 all over the original amount, which is 0.020615 multiplied by 100 over 1. And you should get that to be 35%, which means that no, it's not 50% cheaper, it's 35% cheaper. So my answer there is no, and my reason is proven there. The second part of that question said, give 2 limitations to special offers in general. So what's the problem with them? There's a couple of answers here, and I'm just going to read them out. Number 1, customers are encouraged to buy more than they need. So limitations. Customers are encouraged to buy products, goods that they don't need. Customers may only want to buy one thing, but there might be only one on offer. You might have to buy one to get one free, or whatever the case might be. Is that it might influence or make you impulse buy. So Mr. McCann would be very interested in making sure you know what that word means. Okay, so the next one here we're asked is to look between 21 and 27, the elements of the natural numbers, which means the only ones we can have are 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. One of those numbers fits into all of these. So I had a lot of people give me square numbers and write things down like 4. And that means that you did not read the question. Okay, so go back now and choose the correct numbers for there. Okay, this next one here is surds, and I want to show you this. We haven't done a lot on surds, so take close attention here. Root 27. Another way I can write that is I can write that root 9 by root 3. Okay, to see what I did there, 9 3s are 27. Another way I can write root 9, if you type root 9 into your calculator, you should know the square root of 9 is 3. So I can write root 27 as 3 root 3. Root 75. I can write that as root 25 times root 3. And the more practice you get on these, the quicker you can get. But I'm spotting, okay, well, root 25 is going to be 5. And so 5 root 3 is what I'm left with. 12. Root 12 is the same as root 4 by root 3. And root 4 I can write as 2 root 3. Once I've written it in this value here, I'll be able to figure it out. The reason why I picked root 3 is because they wanted me to have a root 3 in it. So that helps me pick out my factors. So it was 3 root 3 plus 5 root 3, that gives me 8 root 3, minus 2 root 3 gives me 6 root 3. And what would the k have been in this case? It would have been 6. So k equals 6. We had a good few people do that. They did it in different ways. They used their calculators, all right? And that's perfectly okay if you do that. But in this case, they wanted you to use surds, okay? So that's why it wouldn't have worked in that instance. This one here, really disappointing that people didn't get this right, okay? Straight away, instead of writing 3 square root x, you should have looked at your log tables and known that you can write that as x to the power of 1/3. Then that's all multiplied by 6, and you know that one of the other laws is that you can multiply these two here. So that becomes x is the power of 6/3, which you can obviously break down here to say it's x to the power of 2. So really disappointing on that one that people didn't get that. The last one here is again simplifying. You go back to first year and you go back to BIMDAS. What bit do I do first? And I do, of course, the bit in the brackets. Is there any work to be done inside the brackets? No. So the next thing is the indices. So the first part I'm going to look at here is this 10y all to be cubed. So you are cubing everything inside that, which means that that becomes 1000 y cubed. So if we go back now, it's 3y squared multiplied by 1000 y cubed, all over 2y to the power of 5. I'm going to do my multiplying next, and I'm going to multiply this out. And so if I'm multiplying 3 by 1000, that's going to give me 3000. And if I'm multiplying y squared by y to the power of 3, so y squared multiplied by y to the power of 3. And if you know your indices, which a lot of this question is based on, you know if you're multiplying and they have the same base, you can just add. So that becomes y to the power of 5. So now it is 3000 y to the power of 5 all over 2y to the power of 5. And you can mark your y5s out because you're dividing across by that. And then divide 2 into 3000. The answer to that is 1500. Okay, a school has a rectangular vegetable garden. The wall of the school building from one side of the garden and the fence of length 16 metres is used to form the remaining 3 sides as shown. The width of the garden is x. Okay, so we're talking about a fence. We're talking about a fence going the whole way around here. And we're saying that the enclosed bit of the garden is the area. We want to show that the area is equal to 16x minus 2x squared. Well, how would I initially find the area of this? I would multiply length by width. So length by width is equal to the area. Okay, well, what is my length and what is my width? I'm told that it has a width of x. And we see that? So the width is x. The length, okay? The length of all of this is 16. We know that this is x and we know that this is obviously x. So my length is equal to 16 minus x plus x. Okay, if we do our little working out here, I would get that the length is equal to 16 minus 2x. Now, area is length multiplied by width. Therefore, it would be length 16 minus 2x multiplied by width, which is x, and your answer is 16x minus 2x squared. So you would have had to find your width. You would have then said, well, I don't know what my length is, but I know that this plus this and 16 gives me my length. Okay, so you could even write it like that. And so therefore my length is equal to 16 minus those two things. The next part of this question was extremely poorly answered. It is, of course, a function, and you're asked to draw this function in this. So you will need to make out your table, correctly draw your function, and answer the questions. If you are finished, you can now start studying for your patterns test, which is on Monday.